The Masonic legend has points of variance from as well as agreement with the Bible story. It states that Jehovah created Eve, and you'd better listen very closely here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to spill the beans on these guys. The Masonic legend has points of variance from as well as agreement with the Bible story. It states that Jehovah created Eve, that the Lucifer spirit, Samael, united with her, but that he was ousted by Jehovah and forced to leave her before the birth of her son Cain, who was thus the son of a widow. Then Jehovah created Adam to be the husband of Eve, and from their union Abel was born. Thus, from the beginning, there have been two kinds of people in the world. One, begotten by the Lucifer spirit, Samael, and partaking of a semi-divine nature imbued with the dynamic martial energy inherited from this divine ancestry, is aggressive, progressive, and possessed of great initiative, but impatient of restraint or authority, whether human or divine. This class is loath to take things on faith and prone to prove all things by the light of reason. These people believe in works rather than faith, and by their dauntless courage and inexhaustible energy, they have transformed the trackless wilderness of the world to a garden full of life and beauty, so lovely, in fact, that the sons of Cain have forgotten the garden of God, the kingdom of heaven, whence they were expelled by the decree of the lunar god Jehovah. Against him they are in constant rebellion, because he has tied them by the umbilical cable toe. They have lost their spiritual sight and are imprisoned in the forehead of the body, where it is said Cain was marked. They must wander as prodigal sons in the comparative darkness of the material world, oblivious to their high and noble estate, until they find the door of the temple and ask and receive light. Then, as free Meson, or children of light, or the sons of light, they are instructed in methods of building a new temple without sound of hammer. And when they have learned this, they may, quote, travel in foreign countries, end quote, to learn more of the craft. In other words, when the spirit realizes that it is far from its heavenly home, a prodigal, feeding upon the unsatisfactory husks of the material world, that apart from the Father, it is poor, naked, and blind. When it knocks at the door of a mystic temple like that of the Rosicrucians and asks for light, when it receives the desired instruction after due qualification by building an ethereal soul body, a temple or house eternal in the heavens, not made with hands, and without sound of hammer, when its nakedness is clothed with that house. See Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5. Then the neophyte receives, quote, the word, end quote. The open sesame to the inner world, and learns to travel in foreign parts in the invisible world. There he takes soul flight into heavenly regions and qualifies for higher degrees under more direct instruction from the grand architect of the universe who fashioned both heaven and earth. Such is the temperament of the widow's sons inherited from their divine progenitor Samael and given by him to their ancestor Cain. Their past history is a struggle with adverse conditions. Their achievement is victory, wrested from all opposing forces by indomitable courage and persistent effort, unchecked by temporary defeat. On the other hand, while Cain, governed by divine ambition, toiled and tilled the soil to make 2 blades of grass grow where there was only one, Abel, the human progeny of human parents, felt no urge or unrest, himself a creature of Jehovah through Adam and Eve. He was perfectly contented to tend the flock, also created by God, and to accept a livelihood from their divinely begotten increase without labor or exercising initiative. And now you know why the cattle industry is in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, now you know why the great push toward vegetarian habits. Now you know why through centuries and millenniums the trek toward world totalitarian socialist government never ceases. I continue. Remember, he's talking about the sons of Adam and Eve. This docile attitude was most pleasing to the God Jehovah, who was extremely jealous of his prerogative as creator. Therefore, he cordially accepted the offering of Abel obtained without effort or initiative, but scorned the offering of Cain, because derived through his own divine creative instinct akin to that of Jehovah. Cain then slew Abel, but did not thereby exterminate the docile creatures of Jehovah. For we are told, Adam knew Eve again, and she bore Seth. Seth had the same characteristics as Abel, and transmitted them to his descendants, who to this day continue to trust to the Lord for everything, and who live by faith and not by works. By arduous and energetic application to the world's work, the sons of Cain have acquired worldly wisdom and temporal power. They have been captains of industry and masters of statecraft, while the sons of Seth, looking to the Lord for guidance, have become the avenue for divine and spiritual wisdom. They constitute the priestcraft. The animosity of Cain and Abel has been perpetrated and perpetuated from generation to generation among their respective descendants. Nor could it be otherwise, because one class as temporal rulers aim to lift humanity to physical well-being through conquest of the material world, while the priesthood in their role as spiritual guides urge their followers to forsake the wicked world, the vale of tears, and look to God for comfort. One school aims to turn out master workmen, skilled in the use of tools, wherewith they might wrest a livelihood from the earth. Where they may wrest a livelihood from the earth, which was cursed by their divine adversary Jehovah. The other produces master magicians, skilled in the use of the tongue in invocation, and by the use of the tongue they gain support from the toilers here, and pray themselves and their charges into heaven thereafter. About the future in store for the sons of Cain and their followers, the temple legend is also most eloquent. It states that from Cain descended Methuselah, who invented writing, Tubal-Cain, a cunning worker in metals, and Jubal, who originated music. In short, the sons of Cain are the originators of the arts and crafts. Therefore, when Jehovah chose Solomon, the scion of the race of Seth, to build a house for his name, the sublime spirituality of a long line of divinely guided ancestors flowered into the conception of the magnificent temple called Solomon's Temple, though Solomon was only the instrument to carry out the divine plan revealed by Jehovah to David. But Solomon was unable to execute the divine design in concrete form. Therefore, it became necessary for him to apply to King Hiram of Tyre, the descendant of Cain, who selected Hiram of Bith, the son of a widow, as all Freemasons are called, because of the relation of their divine progenitor with Eve. Hiram of Bith then became Grand Master of the army of construction. In him the arts and crafts of all the sons of Cain who had gone before had flowered. He was skilled beyond all others in the work of the world, without which the plan of Jehovah must have remained forever a divine dream.